So how's my voice? Am I loud enough? Is that okay for you? I think acoustics are alright. Alright. More money, less effort. First question, who wants more money? Right? All people? Who wants to make more money while actually putting less effort in? Alright, so you're at the right place. So I'm assuming, I don't know a lot of people here, but I'm assuming your life right now, you probably started out being self-employed because you didn't want to have a job anymore, you didn't want to have a boss telling you what to do, and maybe you started out as being self-employed, and you've already proved that you have a lot of courage because having a proper job, seeking security, and then leaving actually the security shows already that you have a lot of courage, but maybe you figured it out that the so-called lifestyle business that you see on the internet is actually not that easy to achieve, When I started out being self-employed, I worked way more hours than I did when I was an employee at a company. So, and if you may be frustrated because, you put a lot of effort in, maybe you make a lot of money, but, there's still some frustration in your business. Let me tell you, frustration is actually just an emotion that's an indicator that something in your business isn't working, that something in the system of your business isn't working. So frustrations are actually a really good thing because without the frustration, you wouldn't have the indicator that something isn't working. And I want to tell you, because we are our business owners, we can actually change the business or the system. When you are an employee, especially in a big corporation, you do not have the ability to change the system because it's way too big and you're just a little cog in the system. But if you have your own business, you can change the system. So that's the good news. This presentation is for you if you are self-employed and want to grow into a real business owner. Maybe you're doing it for 1 or 2 years. Maybe you're doing it for 20 years. But now you kind of want to, that's enough. You kind of want the next step. You want to have a real business. Or this presentation is for you if you're just starting out. Because when you start out, you can actually make quite a lot of mistakes that are later in the process are kind of hard to fix. So if you know about them in the beginning, it's way easier. I know there are a couple people that are like in e-commerce or whatever. The presentation isn't really designed for you, but you will get some value out of it as well. But the presentation is designed for self-employed people that want to become a business owner. Okay, so that means freelancers, that means experts, consultants. So this is for you. The only way to make more money with less effort is by becoming a real business owner. I'm telling you what that means. But I say that again. The only way to make more money with less effort is by becoming a real business owner. And business mit Struktur, that's my company, that's what it's called in English, business with structure or business with system, is the only company that offers a proven methodology that focuses on helping you to grow from a self-employed person to a solid business owner. Okay? If you don't know me yet, my name is Melanie Retzlaff from Germany. I live in Portugal now. I used to have a marketing agency in Munich for 4 years, and to be honest, I hated my company. I hated my agency. I worked tons of hours. I made money, but to be honest, bottom line, there was not so much left for me. I had a bunch of freelancers working on the projects with me, and I must admit, I built a prison for myself. I didn't enjoy it. I couldn't see myself doing it for the next 30 years, and I was at a point where I was like, okay, I need to step back from my business. I need to see what's going wrong here, and I need to change something. And by looking at it, I actually noticed why I didn't enjoy my company because I didn't have, you would say a marketing agency is a real business, right? You would say that? Marketing agency is a business? But in my definition, and not just mine, I'm telling you later, I didn't have a company, I didn't have a business, I was my business. Because without me, things didn't work out. I didn't have a business, or wasn't a business. And I didn't like that at all, so I changed a bunch of stuff, and now I can proudly say I have a business. You probably know Robert Kiyosaki's, I'm sure everybody read Robert Kiyosaki, right? Okay. His second book was called Cash Flow Quadrant. And he says that there are basically 4 types of people. There's the employee, he's working for a boss. There's the self-employed person, he's working for a client. There's the business owner, he has a system that works for him. And then there's the investor, he has money working for him. And most of us are not born rich, and when we actually want to be entrepreneurial, most of us start out as being self-employed, because we don't have a lot of investment capital right from the beginning. So we start out being self-employed, but if you have a real business owner heart, you will not be happy here. You will not be happy working for clients for really long. If you have a self-employed heart, then you enjoy it. You enjoy being there. But from my experience, most will not be happy here. So they want to become a business owner, so they want to change quadrants, but they don't know how. They don't know what those steps are, the steps necessary to go from self-employed to business owner. And that's what I'm here to do. So basically, a self-employed person, maybe you've heard the analogy of carrying water buckets. The self-employed person carries a water bucket every day, and if he's really into it, he can double the amount of water buckets he carries, and he gets paid by it, right? The harder you work, the more money you make. This is how self-employed people do it. But the business owner actually works on building a water pipeline. Maybe he has to carry water buckets during the day because he has to pay his rent, and he doesn't have a rich family. But the real business owner, even though carrying water buckets during the day, in the evening and on the weekends, he is building his water pipeline. That's the big difference. Are you carrying water buckets every day, or are you actually building a pipeline for constant water flow? And what you need to do to build your water pipeline, you have to create 3 basic systems in your business. Lead generation, lead conversion, client fulfillment. What's the first system you build? What do you think? What's the first system you have to build? Lead generation? Any other opinions?
Client fulfillment.
Client fulfillment. I see people make a mistake of putting a lot of effort in lead generation without having the other system installed. You start out with the client fulfillment. If you have an hourly rate and a topic, you do not have a client fulfillment system. You do not have a product. You just have an hourly rate. Hourly rate means carrying water buckets. So we start out with the first system, client fulfillment. And if you are an expert or if you are a service provider, usually that means the buzzwords are productized service or methodology. That's the first system, client fulfillment. You need this. Personally, it took me 2 years to build the first system. Doesn't mean it takes that long for you. My client fulfillment system is quite big. It doesn't have to be that big. But I just want to give you an idea that you will not build this in 2 weeks, the first system, right? So if you have this, you start with the second system, lead conversion, which means there is somebody who's interested in your topic, but what's the process on how he becomes a paying client? For me personally, if you pay high ticket stuff, there's marketing automation, and then there's this funnel, and then all the money comes out in the end. This usually works with stuff that is a little low priced. If you have high price tickets, this system needs to still be developed. For example, I'm doing lead conversion. I don't do this anymore. I have people doing this for me because I built the system and I was able to train them to do the exact same thing like I did. But my company is not dependent on me getting the clients, right? If you have this, you need the third system, and that's where I'm currently at. I'm building the third system right now. And for me, here standing giving this talk is actually lead generation, right? But it's super dependent on my person. So this is not something my business can depend on. There have to be other systems. It's fine that I do it, it's fun for me as well. But my business cannot depend on stuff like this. There have to be other systems in place. That's where I'm currently at. So if you are a self-employed person and you want to become a business owner, you have to go through the eye of the needle. The eye of the needle is the top of the needle where the thread goes through. And what it's like, it's super tight. It's uncomfortable. You have to push through. It's an uncomfortable time going through the eye of the needle. You can think of it like being a teenager. You're not a kid anymore, but you're not an adult either. So being a teenager, psychologically, can be quite tough. But you have to go through the teenager time to really be an adult, a business owner. So I'm just telling you, if you want to become a business owner, you're self-employed right now, this is what you're getting yourself into. There is some sort of stressful time involved for a period of time. But if you manage to go through the eye of the needle, very, very different growth is possible. You will not be able to achieve this when you're carrying water buckets. If you really build your water pipeline, very, very different growth and money and just impact on the world is possible, right? So the first thing to keep in mind is do not reinvent the wheel. Everything under the sun already exists. It may have a different name, it may have a little different aspect, but it's all there, right? So do not reinvent the wheel. Maybe you know there were a couple of people that have children already, but maybe you know there are even scientific studies on it. The second child develops way quicker than the first one. Way quicker. Why? Because the first child has to learn everything by itself, right? But then there's the second child and completely copies the older brother or the older sister and therefore makes progress way faster. And look for your older brother or your older sister and you can develop way faster. So if you invest in trainings, coachings, books, and seminars, your development will be much faster, I promise you this. I don't think there's a real shortcut. I don't think you can skip certain parts. You have to go through the development, but I think you can make progress a lot faster if you copy. I'm not saying plagiarism or anything, right? But look for other people who've done it already, and then you can go through the eye of the needle way quicker. The second thing to keep in mind is learning how to become a business owner is worth it, even if money and prestige are not important to you. So maybe you're thinking, I have 1 million or 2 million, I don't care. But becoming a business owner is still worth it, even if the money stuff is not important to you. Why? The entrepreneurial way for all of us, the entrepreneurial way is the same, but it's a very personal decision on where you stop. You don't have to go all the way. You can stop earlier and get comfortable there. So the first step you actually have to do is to have a scalable offer. You cannot have an hourly rate anymore. No more carrying water buckets, right? You have to have a scalable offer. You have to have one product, or service, productized service, that you sell over and over and over again. No more individual projects, no more individual codings for programmers, no more individual designs for the designers. You have to have a scalable offer. The second step is you need to make use of automation and delegation, digitalization. That's where you identify the levers. You need levers, especially if you want to grow big. If you do not find your levers, the leverage early, the big company is going to be really heavy when you grow it, right? So find the levers really early on in the process. But if you want a lifestyle business, that's where you stop. You don't have to have the big enterprise to. You can stop here and have a lifestyle business. Maybe, not everybody has to have a huge business, right? Maybe you want to invest time in your family, or maybe you're in an organization that has a lot of impact and you want to devote the time there. Maybe your business is just actually for paying your rent. Then you can stop there. But if you really want to have a big business, you go even further. The third step is you build a team that actually can operate the three systems you developed. Because you do, as a business owner, you do not want to be in the three basic systems anymore. They have to be able to work without you. One step further, you can do a franchise out of it. That's where I'm currently at. I'm franchising my system. So that's where I feel comfortable, that's where I build my house, And the fifth step, you can do an exit. You can sell your company for a couple of millions, or you can do an IPO. So this is a very special, this is a very personal question for you to answer, how far you want to go this road. I'm just telling you, it's the same road for all of us. Except if you carry water buckets, that's not it. That's over there. It's something different, okay? So even if you desire a lifestyle business, the path is the same. The third thing to keep in mind is your client does not want you. He wants a solution and that's it. I hear from experts, yeah, but my client doesn't accept that. He always wants me. I have to show up. No, he doesn't want you. He wants a solution. That's all he cares about. But it's your responsibility to show him that he will get the solution, even if you're not there. If you cannot do this, obviously he doesn't have another choice. He needs you. But if you really show that the solution is not dependent on your person, then you can sell them the solution without being there. How do you do that? When you're an expert or a service provider, you have to have a methodology. Your methodology is your product, not your time. Not you being the genius. No, the genius is in the methodology, right? Personally, this is my methodology. Looks like this, like a cake with 12 pieces. And if you want to get out of the rat race, if you want to grow into a real business owner, you follow this methodology, and that's where the solution is. You have to have your own methodology. This is your product. So make it clear to your client that the solution does not depend on you. It's entirely your responsibility. If you get, backfire by your client, yeah, but I want you, you're not doing a good job at explaining him that the solution is in the product. Okay? So what effort do you have to put in to go this way? First of all, you have to have a mindset shift. If you started out as a self-employed person, I understand that you already show courage. Awesome, but now we really have to think differently. We cannot think in terms of water buckets anymore. The more water buckets I carry, the more money I make. No. A business owner works for free every day. Only self-employed people think of, if I put an hour in here, I make 130 euros or whatever. That's a self-employed mindset. A business owner works for free for quite a long time before the payout day comes. You have to develop a standardized offer. When you're an expert, when you're a service provider, you have to have the standardized offer. Standardized offer doesn't mean that every client gets the exact same logo. For example, if you're a designer. Doesn't mean. We don't sell standardized results. We sell a standardized way of achieving the result. That's what methodology is called, right? A lead the client through the same process over and over again, the result will be a different one. It will be a different logo, it will be a different code, programming, or whatever. But the way how to get the result is standardized. You have to find leverage through systemization and digitalization. Find your levers. Like I said, if you do not put the effort in the beginning, if you grow your company, the more effort you have to put in, like the company becomes really heavy because you don't have the lever, you have to carry it, you know? And obviously, if you have the productized service or the methodology, you need to build the lead generation and lead conversion systems. Because your business can only thrive if enough money comes in. And you can only get enough money if you get enough clients. And this cannot be, oh, I don't need to do marketing, I get enough referrals. Referrals is just by chance, you cannot depend on it. It's good money, right? If referrals come in, that's great. But you cannot depend on it. That's why you have to build these other two systems. Predictable sales. What are your results if you do that? Obviously, you make more money. You can automate and delegate the process. You can literally, as a business owner, you should not be in your daily business. Or, you know, I'm in my daily business as well, but my company doesn't depend on it. Like I could ask yourself, how much money will you make if you don't work for 3 months now? How much money could you make right now? And you see if your business is dependent on it or not. So you can automate or delegate the process. And the third result, you increase your impact. As a self-employed person, maybe you can have 10 clients maximum. But if you have something really valuable to offer to the world, I kind of think it's your duty to build it in a way that way more people can benefit from it. Especially, for example, the doctor. If he found a cure for cancer, but he's just giving the cure by examining 5 people a day, that's a shame. If he puts the effort in building a product, a pill out of it, then the solution, the cure for cancer, can go to way more people. So like I said, even if money is not it doesn't float your boat, maybe impact us. You can reach a lot more people. I know probably for a lot of people that just work as a self-employed person, this is a new concept of thinking and maybe you want to read up on it. I have a bunch of resources on my website. It's only in German. If there's English speakers, maybe you can use Google Translate. You want to read up on this. Get in the habit of thinking like an engineer who builds a water pipeline and doesn't carry water buckets anymore. There's lots of stuff to read. Please check out my website and you find articles and booklets and whatever. So, do we have time left?
25.
No.
It's okay. I'm just happy that if there are any questions, we can answer them now, or I will be around so you can come to me later. Any questions so far, or is that good for today? All right.